Respect for human rights and access to justice for all is a fundamental aspect of human development and key ingredient to poverty eradication and sustainable development. The successive support for the JELOS institutions and laws is to ensure that the fundamental rights are protected and achieve access to justice. Currently, JELOS is implementing a fourth sector strategic plan with a mission to improve the safety of the person, security of poverty, and access to justice for inclusive growth. Meanwhile, the Constitution of Uganda, 1995, Article 50, Clause 1, as amended, states that any person who claims that a fundamental or other right to freedom guaranteed under this Constitution has been infringed or threatened is entitled to apply for a competent court for redress, which may include compensation. However, access to justice remains a dream for many Ugandans, particularly the poor, who in many cases cannot afford the cost of the requirements of the elite formal justice mechanism and the entire mainstream conventional court processes. Legal services are universally expensive and confined to urban areas, yet the majority of the poor and vulnerable are based in rural areas.
If you consider the statistics today, the formal courts cater for only 5% of the justice needs in this country. In other words, when you have disputes of all kinds, the formal courts that we know is cater for only 5%. The 95% is not catered for. But even the 5% that is catered for, you see, it has problems of backlog of cases. So cases take a lot of time. And it takes very long, sometimes decades, to resolve an issue.
Statistics show that 85% of registered lawyers are concentrated in urban areas, limiting access to justice, especially in rural areas. Justice services are further characterized by high levels of corruption. Anecdotal information reveals that the police, LC, and other formal courts demand for bribes for a court hearing to be conducted. Many vulnerable persons cannot afford to meet such costs and so keep away from the official formal justice system.
Zeni baba yambira munonga kandi na nyonyo kacamani aja kuna yambwaho okurengwe chweka ni kiterera usijikirira abo batarashaba kasente.
The overwhelming plight of the poor ordinary citizens in accessing justice under the formal justice system has caused a hunt for innovative models that can provide practical solutions.
So there's a gaping gap that courts like the Bataka Court, you see, can fill readily. And so one of the strengths that the Bataka courts have is that it is a model. I think it's been a very good experimentation with the communities. As I said, it's participatory. The panel is elected by the communities. The communities can attend court sessions and all that. So there's a level of transparency.
Bataka Court hamwe na court ya LC twine kizibu kitwine turakwatagana oyero kabataka Court niyo eyine uburemeza abo kubaracho ubundakira kwikarira nabo inshanga abamwe nabamwe executive kitayikira gushanga ngo baruga side zahari na munonga kusigikira ubwire nyuma ko injure bere nebwa nende bata iri kubateganisa ushanga kora metayikira akushanga ngo baruga hari kandi mayirigwe impamvu
n'inshangwe bagayikira ha polisi bakongera bakagisindi ko muri Bataka Court tukamara Bataka Court tukagishobora tukajimara kandi katekana ire bagayikira wacha manero siku baji cyo wacha manero siku tukabona cya manero siku nakora cyo nashwa nagisindi muri Bataka Court atege mu gihugu wa Bataka Court bene yagishobora turetera tugishobora kandi tugito mu bihangi kandi nabara butwashoborora ibyo tukabibutiza ku nzu tusingo bude byakuriye aho kuri twe turatabira kasete nako nakamu tine kituri kubiho.
The Bataka courts have been able to ensure that there is linkages between the informal justice mechanisms and the formal justice actors. Like for instance, they have created a referral pathway in which they are able to refer cases to the jealous institutions like police, like court, local council courts, local council 3 courts, local council 1s, and the office of RDC and other jealous actors. And the reverse has been true, that these other jealous actors also been referring cases back to Bataka courts. I think for me, which is a very good gesture. And as a result, they have Bataka courts in the districts where the Bataka courts have operated. They have reduced the backlog, for instance, to 50% at local council 3s.
According to Hill Justice Needs Report 2016, 90% of the Ugandans experience one or more serious justice problem, yet over 84% shy away from the formal justice system, resorting to rely on other forms of assistance.
We have built capacity of these courts to ensure that they man the cases in relationship with the formal system, and also address some challenges they are meeting. Basically, these courts have mainly been very vital to handle cases of land matters, domesticated cases, and above all, other related cases, maybe issues of failure to fulfill contractual obligations, but the community has appreciated them so much because one, they have first eyewitnesses, and two, they are composed of people who know matters on the villages, they are composed of people who are elders, they are composed of people who are very, very, very skilled in the past of the places. Basically, they are the actual people who have first-hand information, whom court would prefer to be as primary witnesses. The fact that they handle matters of such a nature, even when appeals proceed maybe to LC1, LC2, LC3, even to court, these people are still referred to, and it is very rare that when you lose a case in the Bataka court that you will win it in these other normal institutions, because they are the cases of courts of first witness, and we have seen them to be very, very corrupt-free in most cases.
As such, there has been continuous call for action by many sections of the experts, CSOs, media, development partners, and including government departments for innovations for the cost-effective pro-poor mechanisms to enhance access to justice for the poor. It is upon this backdrop that Wild Voices Uganda developed the Bataka Court model, a cost-effective and pro-poor informal justice model to complement the formal justice mechanisms in administration of justice.
I have some experience with Bataka courts in present-day Kagadi district because I did some research with them. And what I can say about them is that, first of all, they draw experience from our pre-colonial experiences with justice. And that is important because the present legal system, the formal legal system that we have, is based on an alien system. Secondly, that alien system has different principles. Our legal systems generally were participatory, justice systems were participatory, involving communities. The present system is based, the formal system that is based on professionalism. It's alien in terms of language, in terms of procedure. What Bataka courts do is to give a corrective solution to many of those aspects. In particular, you can say it has a number of strengths. One is that it is free. It renders justice that is not paid for. it is accessible in that you don't pay for it, but also it is close to the communities in which it operates. You don't have to run to an urban center to have justice. Thirdly, it is quick. You see, judgment must be rendered within 2 weeks after the hearing of the matter. But perhaps most importantly, in order to underline the importance of Bataka courts, especially for marginalized communities.
Hati nyonka memba wa Bataka Court ni nsima munonga kitongore cya World Voices abwo kurete kintu eki abwo kuba kiyambira abantu binjo mu byaro kandi twafuna n'enkurakurana abwo kuba sente z'abantu bakubire no basisara omu misango barukuza omu LCs barukuza omu polisi barukuza omu CDO zona ntuzimara hanuya ekyo kireetera abantu batasisa bwire kuzahare esente zibakubire batamuke za transport n'ebigenderwa babura kubisisa bwenite nkabataka kote mayirirwe nitusima nanye nk'omuntu ninsima emirimo egi eyituru kukora kandi n'abataka omu byaro bariyo nibasima.
Bataka Court model, which has been tested in Chibale, Bunyoro region, has since been replicated in 4 more districts including Rwenzori region. Bataka courts are a community-based informal justice service delivery model that was developed as an alternative option to enhance access to justice for the poor ordinary citizens. Bataka court model was developed on the belief that before the advent of formal and colonial justice system, informal systems were already being practiced in different regions of Uganda, and that they serve the purpose of dispensing justice to all the people in these communities. The Bataka court model is quicker and cheaper in resolving issues.
Bataka court twenda yenyumirizamo bakatukoma kugira ngo tuyamba abantu abatebasize tunka ko turahika abantu ko bamanyire ngo Bataka court nabo bashemererwa bagamba Bataka court bakatutureninga ngo itwe Bataka bo bakomanka Bataka court tutalisha basente abantu batebasize nahabwe cyo abo bantu ko barije bagira ngo katugambe turaciye mishango yegitaka cyo mishango y'amaka hati bagira bayije hari Bataka court cyo mishango uriya yaba aremererwe tutamusha basente zo kugira ngo atwesente habwo kubaremererwe niko batreningire nahabwe cyo Bataka court niyo konko ndayo ndayishemererwamo abo turacire mishango tukareba ngo twabahisa mu bwihabwe inganiza bwo kugira ngo twabasha basente baratukunda munonga batusime azananye ukanyura bo nkanye Bataka court nare wo muntu ari kuguma arajya ngo mwebare mukanciro mushango mutanshabire sente hati nyino businzi hati nanye ngo Bataka court ndashemererwa bwo kuba uriye yansimba kandi yampesitines
sima mukama owatere Bataka court kaba ndi mu kitebe cya season tukutera sente naterera memba emitwara 23 yajinyaga nakwatomana nazo mwa Cheyimani yashaba emitwara 2 yamburira nazo mwa Bataka mwa Cheyimani Bataka ko tunamugambira yangira ngo naza kubeta basitami agataho Bataka sitamire nabona Cheyimani Bataka koti yaje ndetera emitwara yanjabirinisha ngeno ndasima Bataka koti echagitireho kutumarira eshonga zita konka waza muri Bataka koti barakucweramo eshonga zawe ziwe ikintu cyawe kibone niona anja ngutagira Bataka koti egume tukolere etumarire eshonga zita.
The Bataka court model has been recognized at national and regional levels. For instance, recently Bataka court came third at the Justice Innovation Challenge organized by the Hill, and I think that's not a mean achievement. So what we are prospecting is that Bataka court should be a role model to most of the African countries, especially if we are to complement and ensure that actually the poor and most vulnerable persons able to access models that enhance access to justice for all.
With facilitation of the panel of elders, the Bataka courts resolve civil cases in an open space with full participation of community members in dispensing justice and resolving conflicts. The Bataka court model has not only been hailed and embraced by the beneficiary communities, but also the judicial officials, development workers, researchers and scholars.
In terms of procedure, two things. One, you see, again, I would like to compare it with the conventional system that we have. It is adversarial, it's confrontational between two sides, where the judge is not supposed to play an active role. But here you have a restorative kind of approach where communities participate in trying to establish the truth. Okay? And that's what happens. And they use simple rules of evidence, taking into account rules of natural justice, of course, for which I think they are trained. And so things work quickly and in a transparent manner. And the communities know what is going on because they are participating in the process. The evidence is readily available. In case of land disputes, the court can go to the locus and see what is really on the ground in terms of what is being disputed. Is it a land dispute? Is it a boundary dispute? And that kind of thing. So the procedure is simple, participatory, and transparent.
Tuyambira abantu bingi omu nsonga eziri kubakwata nk'ensonga z'amaka, ensonga z'ebibanza na n'obuteekyereza n'obw'obukyebukye, kandi ekyo kyayongyera aha nkurakurana y'abantu abuba sente zakubaire niziza nk'omu poliisi ninga omu kooti ez'ahaiguru nibazisevinga zibayambaho mu nkurakurana y'amaka gaabo.
However, they are faced with the challenges of transport, they are faced with the challenges of conflicts with other existing government legal systems. Some institutions like the LCs feel maybe they want to occupy their roles, and then at the same time, some of the heads are too old, the heads of these courts. So when they die, the replacement of the young ones may not be as perfect as the old people, because the encyclopedia definitely has died and we find it very difficult to replace them. So the replacement issue becomes a very, very big problem. Besides the motivation, sustainability of these courts also is based on the existing motivation they have. Given the fact that their capacity has been built as one way of sustaining them, and two, links to other government institutions like our offices now, we are in touch with them, with the CDOs, with the LCs, and even the court system, normal court system. We are sure the sustainability will be very easy. And we encourage the community to use them. They are at their disposal. They are within the community. They sit within the community. They live within the community. So you don't need transport. You don't need any operational costs. They are too informal. You will not be scared. These are the people you stay with, but they are the people who know. The only other problem is that sometimes themselves may be part and parcel of the case, and the conflict of interest sometimes arises. But those are things we have taught them on how to handle. And we pray that they proceed handling cases as we proceed towards ensuring that we create peace and harmony as we lead ourselves to 2040 vision.
Bataka courts are more accessible to poor and disadvantaged people. The model provides quick, cheap and culturally relevant remedies since the court sessions are close to the homes of the people who fall within their jurisdiction. Besides justice service being free and affordable, the problem is viewed as relating to the whole community as a group in which decisions are based on a process of participation of everyone in the community present at the court session. Under Bataka Court model, the enforcement of decisions and judgments are immediate and secured through social cohesion and manageable social sanctions. For instance, for the span of 1 year, alone over 107 cases were disposed of by Bataka courts in only 2 pilot sub-counties. the model has demonstrated capacity in raising the voice of the poor and setting the alternative justice agenda. However, Bataka Court model remains to be seen as to how it scales up to the rest of the country and how it influences space for informal justice.
The prospect now is to bring on board very many other stakeholders to support this model, to ensure that the model is replicated, but also at a broader sense, to support the processes of engaging government and stakeholders to come up with a policy on informal justice mechanisms. Because while the strategic investment plan 4 prioritizes supporting innovations and bridging the gap between informal and formal justice mechanisms, and harnessing the respect in conformity with the human rights standards, it does not, it has not done much in terms of coming up with a framework through which that is going to be achieved. So we believe that we need to have more engagements, and we are calling upon several other actors to come on board so that we are able to engage in that conversation.